everyone, my name's Stephanie. Thank you so much for checking out my latest post on Citrus and Sun, all about tea. Today I'm hanging out with my brother Jonathan. He is the tea expert in our family, and he's going to be teaching us a little bit about what he knows about tea and his journey, and some just ways that you can be more mindful when you're enjoying your tea.
That's right. I'm Jonathan Jablonski. I've been drinking tea for about 5 years actually, and today we're going to go over the Gung Fu brewing method, which is from China, traditional Chinese brewing. And today we're going to be drinking a oolong tea, which is a not black tea, but semi-oxidized tea. And we're going to be being mindful and sipping each tea leaf and taking it all in. So
it's all about the Zen experience
exactly.
With tea today.
So let's get started.
I'm all about the Zen.
So if you're at home and you want to experience this, you don't need all this stuff. This is kind of like the max of what you have. So let me explain to you what we have in front of me, or us actually. So we have the actual tea in a little display cup. We have a smelling glass, which we'll use the first time we brew the leaves. An actual teacup, which is small. A yixing clay pot, which is a traditional Chinese brewing pot, which actually takes in the flavor of the tea over time. And then we have a sharing cup, which will then meld the tea flavor as I pour it in there. And then this box is to catch any additional water from the brewing process. So let's get started. So first, we have some hot water. Oolong tea, which we have here, is usually brewed at a higher temperature, while if you're going to brew some white tea or green tea, you want to use a lower temperature. Try not to roast the leaves because they'll become very bitter. So today we're using around 190 degrees Fahrenheit for water. What we're going to do is we're going to take our leaves and we're going to pour them into this yixing clay pot. All right. And then we're going to pour our hot water right over the leaves. We're going to fill it a little bit.
It's like perfectly at the top.
Yeah,
I don't know how you did that.
We're going to fill it a little bit at the top.
He's done this a lot.
a few times. And when we put the lid on, the water is going to spill out. And what this does over time is it actually shines the teapot. So yixing clay pots over time take on their own shine from what tea you're making, which means that each clay pot over time becomes unique and very special to your family or whoever owns it. And if you don't have a yixing clay pot, don't worry, you can either use a tea strainer to make your tea, or you can use a gaiwan, which is another kind of Chinese brewing method. So after you get your water in there, and you have your tea leaves now brewing inside this pot, you're going to wait probably 10 seconds for the first brew, and you're going to take the water and you're going to pour it into the sharing cup. And what the sharing cup means is that the first pour is even across all cups. And so for instance, if you imagine, I think this might be a little bit too much.
That's why we have the box there,
yes,
right?
Actually just perfect. So if you imagine if you poured the tea straight out of this into this cup and then this cup. This cup might taste a little bit different from this cup because it's at a different point with the leaves inside the clay pot. So the sharing cup kind of melds that and allows all the tastings to be the same. I'm going to take the strainer out to catch any tea leaves that might have fallen out. All right. And now, pour yours first.
All right, now we're pouring it in the smelling cup first. And what is it about the smelling cup that's so I don't know, different or a part of the process of this?
Right. So
how does it add to the process of this?
Right. So the difference between kind of the traditional Chinese method of brewing and the American style is that usually in American style, or I guess they would call it Western style, they brew in a large cup, right? And they let the tea steep for a long time and really let the flavors get in a large body of water, and you just drink it, right? In China and in traditional Chinese brewing, you're taking in all aspects of the tea, which means the smell, the taste, and just the look of the tea actually. So you can actually see, since I'm using a clear kind of sharing cup, you can actually see the tea leaf there. And over time, as we brew more, this tea will get darker and it will change color. So you're taking in all aspects. So every sense is being applied to the tea.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like you're using a lot of your senses, and it's a really in the moment experience,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your cup, your smelling cup, and you're going to put the teacup on top of it.
Okay.
A little tricky here. We're only going to do this once. You could do this every time you brew.
This could be a disaster.
I'm sure it'll be fine. You can do this. We're going to do it the first time, but you could technically do this each time. You're going to take it and you're going to turn it fast. All right, cool. And then you're going to lift the smelling cup. Yep. And then you're going to cup it in your hand so the teacup stays warm.
Okay.
And you're going to bring up to your nose. And smell it.
Yeah.
Smell good. And since this is the first brew, it's going to be a little light, right? So it's not going to have the intense flavor or smell as as we go on and brewing the leaves.
Right.
And you can't really see the leaves here, but they haven't fully opened yet. So as you brew the tea leaves over and over again, they open more, which then gives you the flavor of the leaf. And
so that's why it's lighter right now.
And that's why you only brew it for a couple seconds at a time, right?
Because you don't want them opening all at one time.
Yep.
You want to be able to have multiple cups.
Exactly. So let's taste this first.
All right.
So.
Cheers.
Not even cheers.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. So tell me, what do you taste? How does it taste?
It's very light.
What kind of flavors can you pull out of it?
I taste like a citrus flavor a little bit, like an orangey, citrusy flavor. But I am noticing I have to be very in tune, because normally when I drink tea, I'm either doing something else or I'm just not really thinking about the flavor too much.
Right.
Yeah. Was I right?
Yeah. I mean, your tongue.
Is the answer
your
citrus?
tongue tells it all, right?
Very good. All right.
So actually, we brewed quite a bit of tea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it for later.
Okay.
I'm going to grab a glass. And I'm just going to pour it right in here. For later for me. All right. Usually you wouldn't do this, but it's okay. We're going to cheat a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Put that over there. And so now we're going to brew a second time. So usually when you brew the second time, you leave the tea or you leave the water in for a few seconds longer to open the tea leaves a little bit up more, right? And the thing about tea and brewing this way and kind of experiencing this for me is over time, when I discovered this method, it was different from a lot of things because it emphasizes being in the present and really taking in the flavors and every aspect of the tea, which in our busy lives, you kind of miss a lot of things, and it really asks you to slow down and appreciate everything. And this kind of tea is actually meant to be drunk, I guess, had with company, so that everyone can kind of sit down, enjoy the tea, and have conversation and just really enjoy the moment, right? So it's meant to be experienced in the present moment, because you want to experience all the tea and you want to really feel everything.
And is that just this specific kind of tea, or
so you could
do this with all teas?
Yeah, you could do this with all teas, and then with just that kind of concept, you can apply this to anything, whether that's eating or your art or any of your craft, whether that be drawing, counting, math, or any type of music. And it's just about taking in all aspects of whatever you're doing and really experiencing everything it has to offer.
And the process too.
Yes. Yeah, and the one thing about Kung Fu brewing is that what it allows you to do is really control all aspects of making tea, right? So there's two variants of tea, or two variants of, I guess, what can I say, rules of making tea that affect how the tea tastes. And one is the brewing time and the water temperature, and the other one is the actual water you use. So depending on what type of water you use, you don't want it too hard or too soft, or really you would want to use mineral water, so hot mineral water, to really get the flavors out of the tea. But using those and controlling those is all up to you. So you can really experiment and try out different types of brewing methods with tea, and kind of customize it to what you like to do, right? And so there's always different ways. I'm just going to pour this into your glass. So you can see the liquor has gotten a little bit darker,
right?
And it should have a little bit more flavor since we brewed it for a little bit more. And usually I would pour it in this and just hand it to you, but a little impromptu like this.
Alright, so it should be a richer flavor maybe this time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so taste it.
Okay. A little bit.
Yeah.
Do you taste it?
So.
It's definitely hotter.
Yeah,
I'm struggling here.
It is hotter.
It's definitely hotter.
That is odd because the water is probably should be going down instead of heating up. It's not on the burner anymore.
Now, how long does it usually take for you to drink? Like, do you?
Well, I moved this in. Okay. All right. Let's have one last cup before we wrap this up.
Sounds good.
One for you.
All right.
All right.
So where can I find this loose leaf tea? I feel like I'm so used to
buying tea bags.
buying the tea bags, and
now the Tea-rrific is no longer
right.
with us.
Yeah. So where can I mean, if we wanted to find high quality tea or try out different teas to kind of find out what you like.
Right, so there are a variety of sellers online, which you can kind of search for loose leaf tea on Google or something, or you can try a subscription box service, such as there's one that I've used called Tea-rrific, which will send you a box of high quality tea each month. And I know they've done chai. This month was oolong. And they've done a bunch of different kinds of tea, and they also send you a little tea gift. I think I got a tea strainer and then a spoon one time. So cool gifts in there. So you can try a subscription box like Tea-rrific.
That's good because then you get to try out different ones each month and kind of find what you like.
And the cool thing is that they source all their tea from vendors, right? So they'll give you a list of the vendors they use for that box. So if you'd like to order tea from them, you can then find their website and go and order tea from them, which is nice because then you can build up your repertoire. What tea you like and what you can order and who to get that from. So let's taste it one last time.
Oh yeah, that's like
This is the third. This is the third.
This is the third.
And I left it a little bit longer.
Those tea leaves are open.
Yeah. So I'll say I've been practicing Kung Fu for not a very long time. So anyone experienced will probably pick out a lot of my mistakes and have at you. But I did want to say But I will say that there is an online resource that I've used quite a lot, and there's a YouTube channel called Tea-rrific, and Tea-rrific, and they are a shop in London that sells loose leaf tea, and they do Chinese medicine. It's ran by a couple, and they have wonderful videos on YouTube where I've learned a lot of what I know here from those videos. So if you want to learn more, definitely check them out, and you'll be tea educated in no time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us your process, and I know I learned something today. So happy tea drinking, and thanks again for visiting this post and hanging out with us.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm going to give him a hug instead of a handshake. Yay.